In this training video, we're going to talk about setting up tasks within MicroMain Premium. Tasks act as a template for your preventive maintenance work orders in the system. Your tasks can be created under the Actions tab. Select the icon with the clipboard and the check mark on it called Tasks. And this takes you to a similar list view screen that you've seen in many other places in MicroMain. At the bottom of the screen, you'll see a list view of all of your tasks that have been created. In the center, you'll see a general snapshot of the task that's selected. And at the top, you'll have filters that you can use to sort or navigate through your various tasks in the system. To create a new task, we're going to select New. And then we are going to proceed with naming the task. As you can see, there's not a lot of required information here, aside from a title. But I like to keep it consistent. That means, if I'm using all capital letters, to continue using all capital letters. If I am using a certain standard naming convention, to continue using that. In my preventive maintenance titles, I like to put PM so that people know where it's coming from. Then the frequency, so weekly, daily, monthly, yearly. In this case, we'll do a monthly air handler inspection. The type can be changed, but as you can see, starts off as preventive in the system. Priority is always going to be 2 unless you change that through program options. And then standard hours. Standard hours is important for preventive maintenance especially. You should have an idea of how long it takes to complete that maintenance. So putting in a standard time to actually report against to see if you're on target or running behind is important when it comes to preventive maintenance. Once you have this information filled out, just click anywhere on the screen and it'll bring up your frequency options: daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, and meter based. Of course, on this PM it's monthly. That's the one we'll select here. And you have a few different options here. You can really get specific with your scheduling in MicroMain. Currently it's sitting on day 18 of every 1 month. So this will in fact produce a preventive work order on day 18 of every 1 month. The other option here is down at the bottom, regenerate new task, and you have this for each one of these frequency options in MicroMain. Regenerate new task looks at the completion of the previous task. So instead of putting out a work order every month on the 18th, it waits to see when you actually completed that last work order, and then it starts the clock again. So these are 2 different options you have in the system, and you certainly want to be aware of how they work when setting up a task. After we've got the frequency set up in the system, the next thing we need to do is make sure we put the assets on this task that are actually going to be worked on or inspected. To do that, we can come over to the left-hand side where we have a lot of familiar detailed options that you've seen on other forms in the system as we go through these videos. We're going to go to Assets in particular. Down at the bottom, you'll see an Add button. Here we can select our air handlers that are going to go on this PM. And now we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 air handlers on this task. And they're all scheduled to produce a preventive work order on day 18 of every 1 month. So that means this one template for monthly air handler inspection is going to produce 4 work orders of preventive maintenance because it has 4 different assets on it. Additionally, on here we can fill in things like labor if we know who's going to be performing the work every month when this comes out. Parts that might be required could be filters in this case. Any specialized tools, inspection points, and activities, along with documents, mobile docs, and different things like that that you might want to put on here. Once the task is completely set up, you can just close it, and now it is saved in your task list in MicroMain Premium. This concludes creating a task in MicroMain Premium. If you have any additional questions, you can always use the help file in MicroMain Premium.